Good morning, Steve. Yes, we have some very hot temperatures in the forecast. Unseasonably hot weather. This is going to be potentially dangerous heat too for the next several days, not just today. We have an excessive heat warning inland through Friday, inland valleys, mountains, deserts, and then a heat advisory for the coast, mostly Thursday and Friday. But either way, it's going to be very hot for the rest of the week, and this is going to carry across the weekend. We also have a little bit of fog this morning, Miramar, Mira Mesa, Encinitas at a mild visibility right now. If you're downtown, it's 70 degrees. Any clouds will be clearing up by noon today downtown. Well into the mid-80s. Padres play today. That's going to be a hot game. We'll take a look at everyone's afternoon coming up in just a bit. Well, the sun comes up because then it'll start heating up very quickly. Yes, it's going to be hot today. So the morning hours right around sunrise, always the coolest point of the day. So yeah, this morning is going to be the best for you to do anything outside that you need to do. But for today, the excessive heat begins. We have a lot of excessive heat warnings around the county. The heat wave that we have going on this week is going to last into the weekend. So the advisories that we have in place right now are through Friday. We'll see if they get extended across the weekend. Temperatures are going to be around 100 degrees inland for several days in a row. So unseasonably hot weather, potentially dangerous. Aside from that, we're starting out with a little bit of fog this morning. Miramar, Mira Mesa, Encinitas down to mild visibility. So it's really just this pocket here that we're seeing most of that fog. So you might run into it early this morning. Look at all the heat across the southwest. All this pink, these are excessive heat warnings. The orange, those are heat advisories. Now we have a heat advisory for the coastline also, which is no surprise. But the excessive heat warnings are all for the inland areas. Those are for the inland valleys, the foothills, the mountains, and the deserts. So for inland valleys, we could be as hot as around 100 degrees today with foothills near 108. For the mountains, temperatures ranging from the mid-90s to near 102, and this is going to be for the rest of the week. For the deserts, we could be as hot as about 118 degrees. Near the coast, we have a heat advisory tomorrow and Friday with temperatures ranging from the mid-80s to mid-90s. 80s at the beaches, 90s for those coastal communities just away from the beaches because you're going to be a little bit hotter as you head just a little bit farther inland. So here's a look at the breakdown of it hour by hour for today for the inland valleys, since these areas are going to be very hot. By 7 o'clock, upper 60s. By 9 o'clock, about 10 degrees hotter, upper 70s. And then by noon, inland will be around 93. Through the afternoon, most inland valleys should be right around the mid-90s, but with the potential to be near 100. Then we head into the evening hours, and look at that. Once the sun goes down, we're still going to be around 90 degrees, and into the evening, it's still going to be very hot. So here are some heat safety tips for you. Make sure you hydrate before and during any outdoor activity. So clear the shelters is our big push, our big nationwide push to get as many animals adopted as possible between NBC Universal and Comcast. We've been doing this for 10 years now, so it's still going on through September 10th. If you'd like to adopt, you can also head to our website. But I have a very sweet dog. This is Rustler at the Frosted Faces Foundation. So these are senior dogs. This very sweet little guy is looking for a loving home. Look at his little face. So if you'd like to adopt a Rustler, he is very much appreciative of anyone who will give him a loving home. So you can head to Frosted Faces Foundation, but also get our website, NBC7.com. Search Clear the Shelters for more participating locations, because we do have a lot more participating. And then this Saturday is our big adoption event, so hopefully you can get out and adopt. Now, if you're hiking today, we're talking about the heat. Do it this morning, not this afternoon. It's going to be too hot. So this morning, temperatures on hiking trails will be mostly in the mid to upper 60s. But if you go out there past 9 a.m., we're quickly going to get into the 80s, and then by noon already in the 90s, with the potential for those inland areas to be around 100 degrees. So it's going to be too hot. We have excessive heat warnings inland. We have a heat advisory right along the coast. This is going to be today through the end of the week. So coastal temperatures will be mostly around 80 at the beaches, could even be in the mid-80s downtown. But over the next couple days, we're going to be even hotter. Inland valleys will be around the mid-90s today. If you're in the foothills, you'll be around 100 at least, maybe even around 103 in Ramona. And then for the mountains, in the mid-90s with the potential to be around 100. Deserts could be as hot as 118. Beaches today, though, if you're right there on the sand, you could be right around 80 degrees or even the low 80s, so it is going to be hotter today if you are at the beaches. By the way, Padres also play tonight, so maybe you're going to be at Petco Park. The good thing about this game, first pitch is at 6:40, so by that time, temperatures will start going down into the 70s, so we'll be a little bit more comfortable. Take a look at your 10-day, though. This heat's going to extend through the rest of morning, Steve and Marion. It's going to get very hot inland, so yep, we're talking about heat, unseasonably hot, potentially dangerous for the rest of the week and across your weekend. Excessive heat warnings for all areas inland. This extends from the inland valleys to the deserts through Friday, but it's going to, again, last across the weekend where temperatures could be around 100 degrees, and we have a heat advisory right along the coast. Also this morning, something to kind of keep in mind, some fog out there, Miramar, Mira Mesa, Encinitas down to a mile. That's not bad, but you might notice that fog as you're driving around. If you're in Poway this morning, dropping the kids off at school between 7 and 8 o'clock, temperatures will be in the 60s, comfortable, but by pickup time, mid-90s. It is going to be hot this afternoon. Make sure the kids dress accordingly. And for the rest of the week, we'll take a look at how long this is going to last in your 10-day forecast coming up. Next few days, next several days, be near water. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Stay hydrated. So what we have going on is a big heat wave here for many days. It's going to last across the weekend. So for today, the excessive heat does begin for areas inland. The heat wave will cross over into your weekend. We're not really going to see a break until next week. Potentially the middle of next week is when it will start to feel more comfortable. Temperatures, though, inland will be around 100 degrees as we head from now through about Sunday, so we'll be watching that closely. We have some dense fog forming this morning. Miramar and Mira Mesa visibility now is down to 0. So if you're in these areas, make sure you have the low beams on. Take your time driving. You're going to have some issues on the roads there. Now here's a look at the watches and warnings. So what we're looking at across the southwest, these are all excessive heat warnings. These will last for many days here. For us, as of now, Wednesday through Friday, but again, I think this will be extended into the weekend. For the coast, for this morning, before we get hot, it's going to stay comfortable for a while. Some thin clouds out there. Coastal communities will be in about the upper 60s for the next few hours, and then we'll be in the mid-70s by 9 a.m. Gradual clearing. By noon at the coast, not beaches, but those coastal communities away from the sand, mid-80s by noon. Through the afternoon, staying around the mid-80s, and then once the sun goes down, temperatures will be more likely in the upper 70s. So for the afternoon hours, inland valleys will be near 100 degrees. Some areas mid-90s, but the potential to get to near 100. Foothills could be as hot as about 108 over the next few days. Mountains near about 102. Deserts could be as hot as about 118. And we do have that heat advisory now for the coast. So temperatures there could be into the 90s as we head through the rest of this week and into the weekend. So some heat safety tips for you. Make sure you hydrate before and during any outdoor activities. Avoid the peak hours in the middle of the day. Make sure the pets have fresh water and shade. Of course, never leave the kids or the pets in a hot car. Here's a look at the, first, I would say 30 minutes to an hour into it, it'll start to feel more comfortable, but it's still going to be warm, just not as hot as this afternoon will be. We're still talking about clear the shelters. Also, our big push to get as many animals adopted as possible now through September 10th. This is 10 years we've been doing this. And our next dog for adoption is Shampoo. That's the dog's name. I mean, that's Shampoo. There she is, and she's at Frosted Faces Foundation, which are all senior dogs. So this sweet dog is looking for a loving home. If you'd like to adopt Shampoo, Shampoo is waiting there for you. Also, you can head to our website, NBC7.com, search Clear the Shelters for more participating locations. It's right at the top in our trending bar. And this Saturday is the big event. San Diego Humane Society is waiving all adoption fees this Saturday. Right now, they're cutting them in half. For today, if you're in El Cajon, your visibility looks great right now. Temperature mid-60s. We do have some dense fog out there. It's around Miramar and Mira Mesa, that area. Rest of the county doesn't look too bad. But this morning in El Cajon, we'll stay in the 60s through 7 a.m., quickly into the 70s, and then we'll be in the 80s after about 9 o'clock. By noon, in the 90s. It's going to be a hot day for those inland valleys. We have an excessive heat warning inland, for the mountains, also in the deserts today through Friday. For the coast, we have a heat advisory tomorrow and Friday. So for today, near the beaches, we'll be around 80 degrees. For the coastal communities, mid-80s. For the inland valleys, mid-90s with the potential to get to near 100. Foothills will be around 100 degrees today. Mountains, mid-90s. Deserts, about 112 to 115. Take a look at your 10-day forecast. We do have some very hot temperatures for today for actually several days. We have an excessive heat warning inland through Friday. It's actually going to end up carrying over the weekend as far as our potential triple-digit heat is concerned. Near the coast, a heat advisory also through the end of the week, so dangerous heat in the forecast. This morning, though, we have some dense fog also. Miramar, Mira Mesa seeing 0-mile visibility. If you're dropping the kids off at school in San Marcos, yeah, we do have a little bit of fog around, so I'll show you that in just a minute. But, yep, we are talking about the heat. That is going to be the big story for the rest of the week, across the weekend. Excessive heat. So if you thought summer was on its way out, it's definitely not. It's going to be very hot as we head through the next several days here with And again, an extension into the weekend with temperatures near 100 degrees for inland locations and unseasonably hot at the coast. So in some cases, this is going to be dangerous heat, that's for sure. Visibility's down to 0 for Miramar and Mira Mesa. So that's where we have some dense fog this morning. Downtown, the visibility is fine. It's at 9 miles. So we do have some low clouds around parts of the county, but overall, just a few spots with dense fog. So if you look across the southwest and really much of the state, we have a lot of heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. So this is what we're going to be dealing with as we head through today into the end of the week, Friday as well. But again, this is going to extend across your week, and I don't see a good break from the temperatures coming until about the middle of next week. So we have an excessive heat warning for the inland valleys, foothills, mountains, deserts through Friday. I think it's going to get extended across the weekend, but as of now, we'll be around 100 degrees inland with foothills possibly near 108 over the next few days. For the mountains, temperatures ranging from the mid-90s to near 102. For the deserts, we could be as hot as 118. Near the coast, we have a heat advisory through Friday, tomorrow and Friday, where temperatures will be the hottest here, mid-80s at the beaches to mid-90s possibly for coastal communities if you're just a little bit farther inland from the beaches. Let's look at your hour-by-hour forecast for the inland valleys as we head through this morning. We'll quickly get into the 80s after 9 o'clock. By noon, 93 through the afternoon. Most inland valleys, I think, will be in the mid to upper 90s with the potential to be near 100. And then by 7 p.m., we're still in the mid 80s. So some heat safety tips for you. You want to make sure you're hydrated. The other day, it was 340, I believe. That is going to be a hot time of day, but 6:40, once the sun starts to go down, it's going to get more comfortable throughout the game, but it is going to be hot, though, for those sitting in the sunshine until we start to see things cool down a little bit. So I'll show you that Padres forecast for tonight coming up in just a minute. We're still talking about clear the shelters, though. Now through September 10th, our big nationwide push to get as many animals adopted as possible. Big effort between NBC Universal and Comcast. We've been doing it for 10 years now. This very sweet dog is Smith. Look at that sweet this is Smith. I was going to say San Diego Humane Society. Smith is actually at Frosted Faces Foundation, and Smith is looking for a loving home. He is a senior dog. So Frosted Faces has the older dogs, the senior pets who need homes, and Smith, that cutie pie, he's looking for a loving home. He's a little bit of maybe a cuddler too, likes the couch. So if you'd like to adopt him, head to Frosted Faces Foundation. And you can also head to our website, NBC7.com, search Clear the Shelters for more participating locations. We have dense fog this morning too if you're about to head out soon. Miramar, Mira Mesa, 0 mile visibility. Be very careful in those areas. Encinitas is down to 1. Rest of the county looks fine. It's going to be hot today, though. Once those clouds clear the coast, we have a heat advisory, but that's actually going to be tomorrow and Friday technically, but it's still going to be hotter today. Excessive heat warning inland. So for the coast today, we'll be close to 80 degrees at the beaches, mid-80s coastal communities. Inland, we're going to be closer to the mid-90s, 95 Escondido, Poway, El Cajon, with the potential to get to near 100, foothills near 100, mountains mid-90s, deserts near 112. If you are at the beaches today, again, around 80 by the afternoon. Wave heights will be around 1 to 3 feet. Low risk of rip currents there. Padres, 6:40 first pitch. There you see there's the forecast. Will be in the 70s by 7 p.m. Upper 70s, mid 70s by 8 p.m. Mid 70s still by 9 o'clock. So a little bit more comfortable. Here's your suit.
Okay.
Don't wear your suit outside, Steve. You have like
I
multiple
know.
layers.
I'm telling you
My
what.
goodness.
No, that's not going to be good.
Can't let
Well,
that
she gets to
happen.
wear the nice sleeveless
Can't
dress.
let that
There you
happen.
go. But, you know, it's going to happen. So over the rest of this week and into the weekend, we have excessive heat in the forecast. We have a very long heat wave here. Excessive heat warning all areas inland. Heat advisory for the coast. We're going to see temperatures around 100 degrees inland. Aside from that, we're talking about some dense fog this morning. Miramar, Mira Mesa, Encinitas, all down to 0. So be very careful driving. If you're in Chula Vista this morning, dropping the kids off at school, you may see a little bit of fog there, but not too dense. Come out of the heat. We're not looking at the winds accompanying it, which we don't ever want to see. We don't like those Santa Ana conditions, but it is really going to be elevating our fire threat anyway with the hot temperatures and the dry conditions. So we'll be watching that, of course. But yeah, it's going to be very hot over the next several days. For today, the excessive heat begins inland. This is going to carry over through the weekend. Temperatures will be around 100 degrees inland for several days in a row, and we're not really going to see relief until about the middle of next week. We also have some fog to start off your Wednesday morning. Dense fog for Encinitas, Mira Mesa, and Miramar. Rest of the county is not too bad except near the border, right around Chula Vista, East Lake area. Could be seeing some more fog. There's the excessive heat across much of the southwest, much of the state as well. Excessive heat warnings here shown in pink. So here's what it looks like at the coast as we head through the day, because it's going to be hotter at the coast as well. Some clouds this morning, pretty comfortable for the next few hours, but we're going to heat up quickly. 80 degrees by 10 a.m., 85 by noon through the afternoon, about the mid-80s. It's going to be hot and sunny, and then once the sun goes down, we'll be around 77 degrees by 8 p.m. For the inland locations, we're going to be around 100 degrees. So through Friday and through the weekend as well, inland valleys will be around 100 with the potential to be near 105. Foothills also around 100 degrees with the potential to be near 108. Mountains could be up to 102, deserts near about 118, and the coast about the mid-80s to mid-90s. Beaches will be around the mid-80s. So this is dangerous heat. Make sure you hydrate before and during any outdoor activities. Avoid the peak heat of all this, which is really in the middle of the day and early afternoon. Make sure the pets have fresh water and shade, and never leave the kids or the pets in a hot car. Here's a look at the inland valleys for the next month. We're going to be seeing some very hot temperatures here locally over the next several days across your weekend. Excessive heat warnings, inland heat advisory at the coast. I'll show you how hot it's about to get as we head through your 10-day forecast coming up. We're going to be well into the 90s today in Escondido, and with the potential to be near 100. We have an excessive heat warning for all areas inland. We have a heat advisory for the coast. So as we head through the afternoon, the beaches will be near 80, coastal communities mid-80s. Then you head inland mid-90s at least. Again, with the potential to be near 100 degrees. Foothills will be around 100, mountains mid-90s. For the deserts, about 112 to 115 with the possibility of temperatures near 118. So it's going to be very hot for the rest of the week and as we head into the weekend. I'll show you the 10-day in a minute. But we still have Clear the Shelters going on right now through September 10th. Our next pet for adoption is Rustler. Look at this sweet guy. He's a senior pet at Frosted Faces Foundation. He's a lap dog. He loves pets. He's very friendly. So if you'd like to adopt a Rustler, head there. Also, NBC7.com. Search Clear the Shelters for more participating locations. Look at the heat for the rest of the week. We'll be around conditions this morning.
All right, Brooke, thank you. And we know you stop by occasionally to fill in, but you're going to be here for a little while with us doing traffic, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, happy to be here. It's kind of fun working with Sheena. We always fill in for each other.
We always
Strangers
just kind of pass
crossing in the
by.
night.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Okay. Well, the Today Show is coming up. They are going to.
And we know you're anxious to talk about NFL football, even though it's tomorrow.
We had the low clouds and fog at the coast this morning. That's since cleared. We're heating up now. So if you're inland, you're already at 90 degrees for Escondido, Poway, El Cajon. Ramona is almost at 100 degrees, 99 there, 91 Julian, 89 Warner Springs, but then Borrego Springs is at 109 degrees. If you're near the coast, downtown, we're at 82. Miramar also 82 degrees, but right at the beaches, 76 in the Sereno Valley area, 73 in Sanitas, Point Lomas at 73, Chula Vista 79 degrees. We are going to continue to heat up as we head through the afternoon. We have an excessive heat warning for all areas inland as we head from now through Friday, but these temperatures will be extending also across the weekend. We could be around 100 degrees for inland valleys over the next several days, near 108 in the foothills. Mountains could be as hot as 102. Deserts near about 112 to 118. The coast, though, right around the upper 80s to mid 90s. Coastal communities, beaches will be in the 80s as we head through the next several days. Also, it's Clear the Shelter still now through September 10th. Our big pet adoption event's coming up this Saturday, too, but it's still going on right now as well. This is our next dog for adoption. Shampoo is the name. This is a dog at Frosted Faces Foundation where they have senior dogs, and this very sweet dog's looking for a loving home. Also, head to our website, NBC7.com, for more information there. I'll have another adoptable coming up and your 10-day forecast. Stay tuned. So, if you're heading to that Padres game, it's going to at least be a little bit better because it'll be later in the evening. So temperatures will start to go down throughout the game. So at least that's good. So I have the Padres forecast in just a minute. We're still talking about Clear the Shelters, though, now through September 10th, our big nationwide push to get as many animals adopted as possible. And I have this very sweet older guy. Look at that face. That is Smith. Smith is at Frosted Faces Foundation, and he is a very friendly dog. He loves to cuddle. He is super sweet. So if you'd like to adopt Smith, you can head to Frosted Faces where they have a lot of other senior pets looking for loving homes. Also, if you head to our website, NBC7.com, search Clear the Shelters. Also at the top in our trending bar, we have a lot of other participating locations. For now, if you're in El Cajon, it is 90 degrees already, and it's not even noon. It is very hot there right now. Temperatures will only increase through the afternoon. Mostly will be in the mid-90s for El Cajon for several hours. By 6 o'clock this evening, around 90 still. We have a heat advisory for the coast. We have excessive heat warnings inland for the rest of the week. For the beaches, today will be around 80 degrees. Coastal communities, mid-80s. Inland valleys, mostly the mid-90s with the potential to get to near 100. Foothills will be around 100. Mountains, mid-90s. Deserts near about 112. So Padres play first pitch, 6:40. By that time, we should be around 80 degrees and then dropping into the 70s. So a little bit more comfortable, but it's still going to be very warm. In the heat that we have, though, over the next several days, make sure you hydrate. Make sure the pets have fresh water and shade. Never leave the kids or the pets in a hot